One cold morning, nobody expected blood. The forest breathed in perfect silence. Smoke drifted above a quiet valley. Children laughed beside a small fire. Hunters returned carrying fresh meat. Old hands prepared another ordinary meal. Everyone believed tomorrow would look the same. Then the strangers appeared beyond the trees. Someone tightened a grip around a stone spear. Why did humans first decide to kill each other? For most of human history, survival depended on cooperation rather than conflict between neighboring groups. A single injury could end a hunter's life long before hunger ever reached the camp. Every strong adult carried food, knowledge, protection, and hope for the next generation. Losing even one person weakened the entire group during harsh seasons. Because of that, avoiding unnecessary violence usually made far better sense than seeking dangerous fights. Ancient humans certainly argued, threatened rivals, and sometimes attacked each other over immediate survival. But isolated violence is very different from organized war between entire communities. The difference seemed small until archaeologists began uncovering silent stories buried beneath ancient soil. Some graves contain peaceful families resting together after ordinary lives filled with familiar routines. Others reveal skeletons pierced by stone arrowheads still trapped inside ancient bones. Broken skulls tell stories that words never had the chance to preserve. Each healed fracture also reveals something equally important about humanity. Many injured people survived long after terrible wounds because someone cared for them every day. Compassion existed beside violence from the very beginning of human history. That strange balance still defines our species today. For decades, scientists searched for the exact moment when simple conflicts transformed into organized warfare. The answer proved far more complicated than anyone first imagined. Small hunter-gatherer bands rarely owned enough valuable resources to defend with constant violence. Food moved with the seasons, and people simply followed wherever nature provided another opportunity. Leaving often required less effort than fighting over temporary hunting grounds. Everything changed once humans stopped wandering and started building permanent homes. Farming created something entirely new beneath the rising sun. For the first time, fields, harvests, livestock, and stored grain could not simply walk away. Suddenly, land became worth protecting with deadly determination. Neighbors no longer competed only for food. They competed for territory, rivers, fertile soil, and growing wealth. Success attracted envy almost as quickly as failure attracted desperation. Walls slowly appeared around early settlements across different regions of the ancient world. Those walls were not built against wild animals alone. They warned other humans to stay outside. Archaeologists have uncovered villages where defensive trenches surrounded ordinary homes long before written history began. Every ditch carved into the earth whispers the same uncomfortable possibility. Someone expected another group to attack. Someone believed peaceful conversations might no longer be enough. Evidence from several prehistoric sites reveals entire communities dying during the same violent events. Men, women, and children were buried together without careful ceremonies or traditional respect. These discoveries suggest something larger than personal revenge or isolated murder. They point toward organized attacks involving many people acting with shared purpose. War had begun changing humanity forever. Nobody knows the names of those first warriors. Their voices disappeared thousands of years ago. yet their choices remain carved into the earth beneath our feet. One remarkable cemetery tells a story without speaking a single word. Dozens of skeletons rest together after meeting the same brutal fate. Stone arrowheads still lie between ancient ribs and broken vertebrae. Many victims carry wounds across their backs instead of their chests. Some people were clearly running when death finally reached them. Others raised their arms only moments before the final blow shattered fragile bones. These were not heroic duels between fearless champions. They were desperate moments filled with panic, confusion, and unbearable fear. Archaeologists carefully measured every fracture before rebuilding the final hours of those forgotten lives. The evidence suggested surprise attacks instead of honorable battles. Entire communities could disappear before sunrise without leaving written memories behind. Long before kings marched across continents, ordinary families already understood the terror of losing everything overnight. But why would ancient people risk so much instead of walking away? The answer may have grown from the same instinct protecting every family today. Parents wanted safe places where children could survive another winter. Hunters needed forests still filled with healthy animals. Farmers depended upon rivers that never stopped feeding thirsty fields. When survival depended upon one small piece of land, surrender became far more difficult. Leaving meant abandoning years of exhausting labor beneath unforgiving sunlight. Every fence represented countless days of work. Every harvest carried the promise of another year alive. Every animal inside a village meant food, clothing, and precious security. Suddenly, stealing from another community became far more rewarding than before. Victory offered grain without planting. Victory offered livestock without raising them. Victory offered land without clearing endless forests. Greed slowly joined hunger as a powerful force shaping human history. That dangerous combination changed warfare forever. Scientists also discovered another surprising clue hidden inside ancient bones. Many early fighters were healthy young adults. Communities were sending their strongest members into deadly danger. This decision seems irrational until viewed through evolution. Protecting children and resources increased the chances that future generations would survive. Natural selection never rewarded kindness alone, it also rewarded cooperation against common threats. Humans evolved remarkable abilities to trust members of their own group. The same instinct sometimes created deep suspicion toward outsiders. Our greatest strength quietly produced one of our greatest weaknesses. Even today, people easily divide the world into us and them. That ancient habit may have once improved survival. In larger civilizations, however, it became something far more dangerous. Small tribal conflicts gradually transformed into organized armies. Simple wooden shields became polished bronze. Stone blades gave way to shining swords. Village leaders became military commanders. Temporary raids became carefully planned campaigns. War was no longer just about surviving another season. It became a path toward power, wealth, and lasting influence. The battlefield had grown far beyond the quiet forest, where frightened hunters first raised their spears. As villages became cities, war became something no single generation could control. Children grew up learning the weapons their parents once feared. Blacksmiths forged blades instead of farming tools. Walls stretched higher with every passing century. Kings promised peace while preparing for the next campaign. Every victory inspired another rival to rise. Every empire believed it would be the last. None of them were. From the kingdoms of the ancient world to the greatest empires in history, the pattern repeated endlessly. Stronger armies conquered weaker neighbors. New borders replaced old ones. Ruined cities became foundations for new civilizations. War destroyed countless lives, yet it also accelerated inventions that transformed humanity. Roads built for soldiers later carried merchants. Ships designed for battle connected distant cultures. Metals forged into weapons inspired stronger tools for everyday life. Medicine improved because healers desperately searched for ways to save the wounded. Human progress and human violence grew side by side like inseparable twins. It is one of history's most uncomfortable truths, but another truth is often forgotten. For every battle remembered in history, there were generations that simply wanted to live in peace. Most ancient people never dreamed of glory. They dreamed of full stomachs, healthy children, warm fires, and another sunrise. The same hopes still live inside billions of people today. Our world looks unimaginably different from theirs. Stone spears became guided missiles, watchtowers became satellites, messengers became smartphones. Yet the human heart has changed far less than our technology. We still protect the people we love. We still fear losing our homes. We still struggle against hunger, uncertainty, and those who threaten everything we have built. The First War was never just about weapons. It was about choices. The choice between sharing or taking, between trust and fear, between seeing strangers as future friends or future enemies. Those choices continue shaping history every single day. Archaeologists may never discover the exact first battle. The evidence has faded beneath thousands of years of wind, rain, and growing forests. Perhaps no single battle deserves that title anyway. War did not suddenly appear one morning. It slowly emerged from thousands of human decisions made across countless generations. Each small act of fear, survival, ambition, or revenge added another stone to its foundation. The story of war is not the story of monsters. It is the story of ordinary people facing extraordinary pressures. That realization is both terrifying and deeply human. Somewhere long ago, a frightened hunter tightened his grip around a simple stone spear. He could never imagine the armies, kingdoms, and nations that would follow his decision. And somewhere today, another human still stands between fear and compassion, making the same choice in a completely different world. The greatest battle in human history has never been fought between civilizations. It has always been fought inside the human heart.